Hey guys, Connor here from P.A.G.E with another review. This time around, I'm reviewing Life is Strange Before the Storm. How could the prequel to the masterpiece, which is Life is Strange, ever live up to expectations from fans around the world? The answer? Simple. Take what made Liz great, the characters, the voice actors, the star-crossed teenage romance, and let us not forget the heart-ripping, stomach-clenching, tragic story that we as fans have come to expect, love, and hate so equally, and do it all over again. Now, this isn't to say that Before the Storm is identical to Life is Strange. For one thing, it doesn't have Max with her camera and the hipster vibe that came along with it, nor does it have the time travel ability from the first game, which is not missed. Life is Strange is not about time travel, and neither is Before the Storm. They are both about subjects which are too raw and too real for other developers to tackle. These games are about the different stages of love and loss, finding out who you are as you're growing up, discovering oneself. This is what Life is Strange Before the Storm does so beautifully. When I first saw Before the Storm being announced at E3, I rushed to Steam to buy the deluxe edition outright, knowing that I was in for one hella of an emotional rollercoaster ride from start to finish, and boy, I wasn't disappointed. To be able to see Chloe once again as she struggles to come to terms with her father's tragic death, and find a light at the end of the tunnel in the form of Rachel Amber, is as heartwarming as it sounds, but for everyone who is familiar with the original game, it just leaves a bittersweet taste in your mouth. Because no matter how drawn you are into the growing relationship between Chloe and Rachel, as the viewer, we know how it will end. The rest of this review will be a spoiler-filled section. So please, if you haven't played Before the Storm or Life is Strange, please turn away now and go buy the game, it's awesome. The one thing that Before the Storm does beautifully is that it makes you, the gamer, the spectator, care for the growing relationship between Chloe and Rachel. How myself am familiar with the ending of Life is Strange, how I'm familiar with what happens to Rachel and her tragic death. The game ignores all of that and focuses on how Chloe and Rachel became good friends and good companions to one another. How Chloe is lost and saddened by the death of her father. How she finds an escape from her life by the way of Rachel Amber. How Rachel takes her away and distracts her from all of it and becomes lost and saddened by what happens in her family. And the game does that so beautifully that only in the quiet times, only in the Easter eggs, that I was reminded of what happens in Life is Strange. And that's the sad thing, that's the bittersweet taste in my mouth. Because I'm playing through Before the Storm and I'm going, none of this will have an impact, will change Life is Strange, the original game, will change how the original game is, because we know how it ends. We know what happened to Rachel. But the game does it so beautifully, it ignores it so beautifully, that you forget it, you are wrapped in the growing relationship between Rachel, and you develop an adulthood of Chloe from saddened teenager to a rebel young adult. And that's what episode 1 and episode does so perfectly, because it centers on Chloe and Rachel for the majority of the game. But episode 3 doesn't do that. Episode 3, after about, half an hour, 45 minutes of Rachel and Chloe, Rachel's completely taken out of the equation and it's just you with Chloe alone and fighting for something which you're way over your head to be fighting for. And that's one issue that I have with episode 3 is the lack of Rachel, because we've been shown the chemistry, the passion between Chloe and Rachel for episode 1 and episode 2, and in episode 3 it completely ignores that and focuses on the subplot of Rachel's mysterious mum and how the local drug dealer kingpin weren't really classified it. The local drug dealer, not Frank, the other one, Dominic. How that subplot is ended. And what is really annoying about that is that throughout episode 1 and 2 and 3, Chloe has been seeing her father a way of it's a coping mechanism to get over her tragic loss. And so when that horrible thing happened, where Chloe gets knocked out by a kick in the fucking face and wakes up, I'm thinking it's a dream sequence, but it wasn't. And it just goes on and on and on, and I kind of get lost. And this is the closing moments of the game, and I get lost. I get drawn out of the game and back to reality, and I'm thinking, when will this end? Because it's not giving you an option. It's trying to force you down one route, which, comparing it to the ending of Life is Strange, felt very similar. Because at the end of Life is Strange, you get a choice, and based on that choice, you're either going to get a very small cutscene with a song that lasts a song, right? Or they're going to get a very large, a very developed cutscene, which most people side with that being the good ending. It's not. Before I go into what I chose for the ending of this game and why I chose it, let me take a few steps back and go over the character of Elliot. Elliot is quite obviously a Warren replacement for the game. It's quite clearly the infatuation part of love. It's quite clearly the infatuation part of love personified as Warren and Elliot. And Elliot goes a little bit further and thinks that Chloe is his by stalking her and trying to protect her. And that just came out of completely nowhere, because I'm thinking, oh, it's just another Warren. Go away. I'm going to be kind to you, just go away. And he doesn't. He just carries on and carries on and carries on. And it kind of just, it feels like it was written by a different writer than the rest of the game, because it's completely out of left field. You have to lose your final speak back ability to get rid of him safely by calling the cops and basically hinting at you're essentially stuck in the DA's office. And all of that was just like, really? Okay, I'm gonna go do. I have to go through this, but Elliot, dude, what the fuck was that? Now, getting back to the last 10 minutes of the game, the emotional rollercoaster ride from essentially finding Rachel's mum by Chloe finding Rachel's mum in the abandoned store mill, which, by the way, turns into the barn. I believe. That's my theory. It turns into the barn that becomes the dark room. In the last 10 minutes, where Chloe is just way out of her depth and there's really nothing you can do, you just have to watch through it. And that's where I was taken out of it, because I had to watch through it. I couldn't choose anything else. I couldn't choose to say Frank first to then help me, because I don't know what the hell happened to Frank and Dominic. Is it Dominic? Who is it? Dwayne or Dominic? Dwayne? Might be Dwayne. See, that's my point. I can't even remember the character's name because he was so minuscule. He was so pointless. He was the big bad guy. He was the storm of Before the Storm. The ultimate ending, if you will. everyone focus on him, he's evil, the storm is bad, he's bad. And so all of that I had to watch through, and oh my god, that was painful. What a bastard he is. Now for the actual final choice of the game, paralleled with Life is Strange. So the final choice of Before the Storm is whether to tell the truth to Rachel or to lie to her, saying that you couldn't find her mother. And I wasn't conflicted on this one bit, unlike Life is Strange. I wasn't conflicted on this for one bit, for the main reason that throughout this game, it's told us, both visually and vocally, that lying has caused all this to take place. Lying, the father, the DA, lying about the mother, causing Rachel to go hunt for the mother, and causing her to separate, to fall out of love, to feel empty inside, all because of lying. So I wasn't going to lie. I was going to tell the truth. Chloe wouldn't lie. If she wouldn't lie, because how would she cope with keeping a big secret from Rachel? Her friendship with her would be non-existent. It would be forced. It wouldn't be true friendship anymore. And that's one thing that I wasn't going to put Chloe through. I wasn't going to make her lie so the mother could get off scot-free, so the father could get off scot-free and still be thought as an angel, as the protector. No. So that's why I chose to tell the truth. Because all throughout this game, it showed us that lying was bad. Therefore, you have to choose the lesser of two, the worser of two evils. Because the lesser of two evils is lying in this situation. Now, parallel to this with the ending of Life is Strange, and how that caused more of an internal conflict to myself, because it's sort of like, it didn't really cause a conflict to myself, it was just more of a shock factor, like choose Chloe over Arcadia Bay. I chose Chloe for one, because the message to me from Life is Strange is that no matter how much you change things, they're always going to happen. So if Max went back and didn't save Chloe and lose her time travel abilities to go back, she didn't learn the lesson that time travel changes nothing. So by not changing something, Max learnt her lesson, because time travel doesn't change anything. It just makes it worse. By Max not going back in time, losing her time travel abilities, what happened. It can't be changed. And that was much more of a emotional wall than Before the Storm's final choice. Now moving on to the last thing I want to talk about, and that is the beautiful montage ending. The changing of the hair dye, the skipping class, and the FU to Principal Wells. And it was so beautiful that the true sad part about this montage, just after the beautifully portrayed chemistry in the photo booth, we get a reminder of how this friendship, how this story, how Rachel's story ends. It was so sad to watch, and so sad to be reminded of, that it deserved all the feelings in the world, because it was so beautiful that Deck 9 could, for one last time, remind us and show us of the happiness between Chloe and Rachel, and then rip it all out and just beat us to death with it. Bad phrasing there. But it was so beautiful that it couldn't have gone any other way. And it just sort of like tells us, okay, fun's over, here's how it ends, thanks for watching. Black screen. And the dark room, and the 17 missed calls. Oh man, like wow, that just brings it home. My final thoughts on Before the Storm and of Life is Strange is what happened in Before the Storm just cement my choice in what I chose as the final ending for Life is Strange. And to put it simply, Bay over Bay any day. Thank you for watching. See you on the next page.